Yo, so today I got a great question from a young man who's losing hope in the achievement of his goals and he's feeling lonely on the road towards achieving his goals. And so there's a little bit more to it, so I'm going to read the question here. He says, Yo, Elliot, lately I've been in a weird spot. I've just graduated from high school and I know my next step in life. The problem is it seems as if what I want isn't possible. A few years ago, I was deeply inspired by music. I delved deeper and deeper and found such burning passion for music and making it. But lately, creating music hasn't been as euphoric as it used to be. I believe it's because I became less convinced that I will ever reach my goal of being an artist that would inspire millions with my batshit insane crazy ideas. I've inadvertently followed my heart my whole life, but now things are dark and I don't know if I should keep going. It seems as if no one believes in me and I'll never make it, even though I have gotten exceptional at it and truly want it more than anything else. Have you gone through this and how did you get over it? Thank you, Elliot. And so, great question. Thank you for your question, and I appreciate you, asking me about my personal experience with it, because I do have a little bit of experience with this. But I want to point out a few of the things that you brought up in your question to help you kind of digest your situation and maybe support you in overcoming. First, you talk about feeling lonely on the road to achieving your goals and that no one's believing in you. That's the first thing that struck out at me when I read your question, even though it's towards the end of the question. And I wanted to point out to you that you got to make the distinction between loneliness and aloneness. And I think just by virtue of recognizing that there's a difference between loneliness and aloneness, you can actually, you can approach it a little differently. Okay, so what is the difference? When you're lonely, you're alone, yes, but you're moody about it because there's a neediness. There is a hankering. There's something that's not being fulfilled on the inside, so you grow emotional as a result of not having the need met of people supporting you. Aloneness is being alone, but not having the emotional content associated with it. Being alone is actually a great thing when you're not hankering and feeling and moody about the fact that you're alone. You can choose aloneness as opposed to loneliness by recognizing that even if you are alone on your path, even if no one supports you, no one believes you, it doesn't matter. You don't need them to support you. You don't need their confirmation. You don't need their validation. You simply need to recognize that I'm alone. I'm alone in this. And that's okay. In fact, being alone in something is usually an indication, oftentimes, not always, oftentimes an indication that you're on the right path because most people, the masses are asses. Most people are crabs in a bucket. Most people are sheeps. Most people are following the herd off the cliff. Dan Kennedy, one of my favorite, one of my best, probably the primary business influence in my life, marketing influence in my life, Dan Kennedy, said that if you want to be successful, look at what everyone else is doing and do the opposite. To be alone is an indicator that you're doing something right in many instances, not always, once again. So be okay with being alone. I just want you to reframe that. I think that's an important reframe, right? Reframe it. You're not lonely. You're alone. There's no loneliness. There's aloneness. You see? It's a subtle shift, but I think it will help you associate this being alone a little differently. Put a little bit more of a positive light on it. It's okay to be alone. And aloneness is a powerful place to be. Done. Let me stop at that. So, okay, I'll put some notes here. Another one that you brought up in your question is that you're starting to lose a sense of euphoria about doing the music. And I think this is important to bring up because we're all under this sense, we're all under this illusion that we need to feel great about everything that we do all the time. This is why people fall out of love. This is why people never achieve mastery. This is why people never make it to the end of the journey because they lose passion. They don't feel it anymore. And you got to recognize that feelings are fickle. Feelings will come and go. Feelings are like clouds in the sky. But the backdrop, The sky itself is the truth. We want to stay with the sky and not with the clouds. Stay with the backdrop. Stay with the foundation. Stay with what's forever. What's bigger. Let me just put it that way. The big picture. The big picture is that feelings are going to come and go, but you are committed. You are committed to your craft. You're committed to your work. You're committed to your self-expression. You're committed to the art. You're committed to the music. You're doing the thing that you set out to do, whether you feel like doing it or not. And that's discipline. That's conviction. That's devotion. That's being, once again, non-emotional, non-attached, not moody, right? Same thing with the loneliness. You're feeling lonely because you've attached the mood to a fact. The fact is you're alone. The mood is what you're addicted to, what you're drawing up within you. When you are doing your work, when you're developing mastery, when you're being an artist, when you're being a practitioner, whatever it is, the mood doesn't matter. The mood's going to change. The mood is the emotional content, which, like I said, is fickle. Stay focused, right? You're not always going to feel great about the things that you do. Once I said, like a few moments ago, I talked about people falling out of love. This is part of the reason why the divorce rate is so freaking high, because people think that they need to always feel like a Disney fucking character in everything that they're doing. They always have to have the heart emoji eyes and always feeling gushy and good and gooey about the things that they're doing or the people that they're with, when that's not really the case. True love is equanimity. Flat, balanced. A man doing his work does his work in a balanced way. Not because he's euphoric, not because he's getting a high from it, right? If you get addicted to the high, especially this happens to artists a lot, right? Musicians a lot. They get addicted to the high and they need to have feels about it. That's why so many musicians are addicted to drugs. I just think of Kurt Cobain of Nirvana as the first person that came to my mind. The guy was an amazing artist, but because he was addicted to feels. He was addicted to I don't even say addicted, but what happens is we become very attached to our feelings. So be it that we have dark, bad feelings that pull us down into a mood, or the euphoria and excitement of passionate self-expression, that mood. Moods are weird, bro. Emotions and moods are weird because they do this. They will make you bipolar. The higher you go up, the lower your crash. And I tell you this shit because you asked me about me, and I'm telling you these things because I learned them about me. I'm an emotional guy, just to be completely honest. It's part of my gift as well. That's why I'm charismatic. But at the same time, I found that if I take myself up too high, if I get too high, if I get too excited, too passionate about something, eventually, just like a firecracker, it's gonna pop, and I'm gonna sink. Don't let yourself get too high about anything, and the lows won't be so low. And when you get low, don't go so low. Don't let it carry you down. Recognize it. You can't eliminate emotions, but you can objectify them. Look at it. Oh, I'm really excited. One of the things I've learned about myself is I don't trust myself when I'm passionate anymore. The more passionate or emotional I'm about something, the more I know I need to create some space. That's when I don't act, right? No, when I was my younger, more immature, beta, blue pill, weaker version of myself, I'd let the emotion carry me and I'd do everything out of emotion. Now I recognize the emotion. Emotion hasn't stopped, but I pause and I create a space. They say between stimulus and response, there's a space, and in that space to choose is the destiny of your life. Take a space, take some time. Whoop, I'm a little excited. I don't trust myself when I'm excited. My trust for myself plummets when I get passionate about something. And the same thing when I'm starting to think low about myself, when things are going down. Don't be attached to the high, don't be attached to the low. Equanimity. Stay flat. Do not attach. So that's it. So those are the two things I wanted to bring up until I finally bring you to, just share a little bit about, you asked me, you said, Elliot, what has your experience been with this? So I'm going to share a little bit about my experience. So number one, don't be attached to the mood of being alone. Aloneness is a beautiful thing. You don't have to be lonely. And number two, don't be attached to the feeling associated with the work that you're doing. You do the work whether you feel like it or not. Leave emotions alone. Now, You got people getting in your ear about the work that you're doing right now, and that's why you're going on these mood swings. It seems like you were okay before, but now that you have this need for other people's validation, and I'm not denigrating you about that. We all deal with this to some degree. I know I have. They're leading you astray and they're dragging you down. And the reason why they're able to drag you down is because you don't have an adequate sense of what success is for you. You have to have the sense of what success means for you, because it's going to be different based on other people's definition. And if other people's definition, or if you created too much of a grandiose definition for yourself and then you fed it to other people and now they're holding you to it, these are ways to get caught up in a negative spiral downward. I would invite you, right? I'm going to share a little bit about my story, but I would invite you to set your goal, have your intention, but be focused on the work at hand, and then forget about your goal altogether. Set it and forget it. Okay, I want to reach 1 million people, and I get it. Like I said, I like to say I'm a old millennial, so I kind of get you guys' ambitions. We got a lot of the same ambitions. The only difference between me and you is I didn't grow up with social media, so I had no idea that it was possible to be a YouTube celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Like, where millions of people could follow me. But I did tell you, I did have this intention. When I was like 23 years old, before I even had a freaking email address, I said I wanted to impact the lives of millions of people. Such a millennial idea. I want to change the lives of millions of people, right? I really had that. I really believed it, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. There was no YouTube back then. I had no idea how that was going to happen. All I envisioned for myself was going to be talking to millions of people, right? I thought it was going to be like a Tony Robbins. Turns out that wasn't the case, but here's what I want you to understand. I wasn't attached to it. I wasn't attached to how I was going to get there, because if I was attached to it, I wouldn't be talking on YouTube. I'd be trying to tour the world like Tony Robbins. YouTube is so much better. I don't have to leave my living room. Don't be attached to any version of the outcome. Set your sight on what it is that you want, but get busy doing what you got to do with all of your focus, all of your might, all of your intention. Give everything to the work itself, and then the outcome will take care of itself. Bro, the way I got where I am right now is like magic to me. I didn't do this. I have no freaking clue how this happened. There was no YouTube. There was no social media. I just knew I wanted to train people for a living. This was my practical application of what I'm going to tell you before. I wanted to train people. I wanted to train athletes in particular, and mostly men. And I wanted to put food on my family's table. That was really it. When it boiled down to it, what I really wanted was to do work that I love doing and take care of my family. Right? How that all unfolded is a mystery to me. But I held the intention and I got up every day. Man, there were times when I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to train guys at the gym at 5 o'clock. And I'm working at the gym until 9 o'clock at night. I did that for years. In between the morning sessions and the evening sessions, I'd set up a little camera and I make YouTube videos answering people's questions. Magical journey. But I wasn't attached to the outcome, and I didn't know exactly how I was going to get there, and I had no clue. Here's the thing I had no clue about all of the incredible gifts that were going to happen along the way. Like I said, YouTube came out of fucking nowhere. I had no idea that was going to happen. I think Brian Tracy once said that when you set your intention on something, the universe, God, goes to work to conspire in your support. So the way you get to where you're going to go, you have no idea. You don't know what kind of magical stuff, but as long as you don't be attached, as long as you just do your work, as long as you get up every day and do what's in front of you. That's an Edmund Hulse, one of my father's favorite sayings. Get up every day and do what's in front of you. You're going to be okay. Don't worry about other people. Don't worry about their definition of success. For you, success is the fact that you get to do what you love and you can put food in your mouth. Everything else is just on its way. You just gotta let it do it in its own way. So I hope that helps, dude. A little bit of a long rant on this one, but I had fun speaking with you. Done.